Okay, body wise, what you want to be doing is prime everything with a black and do a zenithal priming with something with a whitish color. I'm using black chaos and red bone, and you should get something like this. So the bottom part I'm keeping it quite dark because this will be like a bluish grayish color, blue-black color. This is the magenta velvet part that we're gonna get back to, and on the hands you want this part to be the blackest black, and black chaos is actually excellent to give this sheen for the leather-like sheen, you see. So this will be excellent just to stay like this. And this is the same color as this, so this will be a bluish black, and this is again the purple that we're gonna use here. In terms of colors, for the bottom part of the body, it's actually the same. I finalized some of it. So this will be, this blue will go here and here. This purple will go here as a first step. We're gonna do some more with the purple. For the bottom part, for the legs, just prime it in the same manner. In terms of colors, for the blue-black, you can use any dark blue you have. I don't have any actually, that's why I'll be mixing these two together. So it's Black Templar and Thalassar blue. And obviously I will need to go back to his hands part, so in order to get the colors showing, I'll be using red bone all throughout this part. So this is more like the same color, let's say, as his belts. So we'll be going with snakebite leather. So for this color will be on this and on this. This will be a whitish, I'm probably gonna do it like a yellowish white, and this I'm going anyhow straight with red bone, and then I'm gonna go with the skin tones. And what else I have? I have this color, Volupus Pink, which is not really pink, it's more like magenta color, and I'll be using that to simulate the velvet effect on the upper part of the shirt. And you want this gradient because when we paint velvet, you actually need to go in a specific manner, and this will give you some guidelines where to be more intensive with the color and where to be less intensive. At the moment, because I will need to let them dry, I will work let's say bottom to up. This is obviously the most color that we're going to be applying down, so it will take the longest to dry. We'll be applying it last, so I'll just be doing the red bone on the hands and start working with the pink on the upper part, yeah, and then going to the blue-black. Now, moving on to the velvet part, this is going to be a little bit tedious, and if I have the time, I'll record another method which is a little bit faster with using what's called flocking. It's some nail art that you can actually use to get the velvet effect. But for the time being, what you want is some brush with a little bit unevenness. So you see, this is kind of a pointing brush. And you want a contrast paint, because contrast paints don't work well generally with flat surfaces. They tend to look patchy, and actually this time around this will work in our advantage, and this is what you want. If you're looking at velvet, and I'll put a picture here, I just took it online, and then in Snapseed I used the accentuate filter, I believe. You can just see what makes velvet looks like velvet. It's actually this unevenness. You have colors which are in the same family but quite contrasting, and every bit and piece of it has all the colors in it. So if you look up close, even in the dark parts, you will see that it has some light. The light part has some dark dots. And actually, I'm just gonna use a test print to give you an idea. What you want to do is coat, obviously put some paint on your brush and hold it perpendicular to the model, meaning 90 degrees from top down, and start like stamping it. Yeah? Because that's the unevenness actually that the velvet has. You see? You're gonna start getting these lighter patches, darker patches, and everything, and this is what you want actually. This is why I'm saying it's tedious, because you're gonna have to do this all over where the velvet is supposed to be, so it's not exactly pleasant, but it's the fastest way to get something looking like velvet. Another way is to take a very fine brush and actually paint dot 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 dot, but that's extremely tedious. And this is where the priming comes in, because you want some parts darker and you want some parts lighter, and because this part has a lot of darkness from the primer, it's gonna look already dark, and here we're just gonna have some more colors in the idea that the light is shining like this. Yeah, so this is what we'll be doing now. I'm gonna use my red just for the inside of his shirt, because there's a little bit of red here, and obviously a very tiny brush. Just to be able to make it down. All the accents will be gold, so that's why, as you've noticed, I'm not too worried that I'm going outside the line, simply because I'll be coming back anyhow with gold on top of it. So the margins at the moment are not that much of a concern, because this will all be gold. This is going to be the same color as this, so it doesn't really matter that I put purple on top of it, as I'll be able to easily correct it when I come with a dark color. I'm actually going to do the trimming on his neck as well, because in the render pictures all this trimming was red. So if I'm still here with red, I'm gonna finalize this part. Get up close and pay attention, because you don't want to ruin this one. I'm trying to get accustomed to my new phone. So what I was saying is that I have done the red trimming, and it's good to do it in one direction, just because your hand gets used to it. So I tend to do these lines like this, and then the other lines like this. I've also corrected any red that I spilled onto the white with the same color, with white with red bone. And now I'm gonna move to the black blue part. This is already blue, and because this is already black, so because it's black, I'm going to go with a combo of 2 of this and 1 of this to put it all over. On his color, because I have the white base, the color will appear more vibrant, so I actually want to go more like 1 to 1, just to have it in the same tone. Pay attention when you're going in on the color, because now you don't want to make mistakes and put this onto the purple, for example. So pay a little bit of attention here. When you are doing the arms, because we have some clear delimitations, this will be gold, this will be leather, so we can correct it with white again. You can go more easily, let's say, when you're doing this, because really doesn't matter if you're going into the other territory, as we can correct it later on quite easy. The inside, I've seen in some renders that it's purple. I'm not gonna bother actually with purple, because his hands are by his side, so you're not gonna be able to see them that much. Whatever I have now with this grayish gradient, it's fine enough. So here, using quite a bigger brush, you can just apply it all over. Yeah, without having to pay that much attention. On the bottom part of the body, it's the same. You can apply it quite easily. Just pay attention when you're doing the color. So I'll have to do the color now and get up close. Yeah, now on the rest, just apply the blue. It's gonna dry with a little bit of a different color. Now I know it looks quite similar. Again, on the back, this trimming is in blue color. So just pay attention. Afterwards you're gonna need to let it dry quite a bit, because this will take some time to dry. I know it looks black, but you see it's bluish. It has a bluish tint. It's probably how the camera is picking it up. Yeah, now let this one dry. Okay, what I've done in the meantime is I put this blue hue focus on the, let's say, black part, and I've added a little bit of apothecary white to his collar, and obviously to the lining from the hands. Yes. On the hands themselves, obviously it's flesh tone. I've actually tried some other combination. Don't bother with it. Just use whatever you want on the face. And as I mentioned, on the leather details, all leather details that it has, I used snake bite leather. Yeah. It's gonna focus eventually. And at the moment we have a very, let's say, difficult part to do. It just needs a lot of attention. On his suit there are all these panels with lining, yeah. And what you want now is to get some lighter color. I'm using this because I'm trying out some new colors. The idea is you want a light color that's a little bit fluid. This is because it's for airbrush, it's already quite fluid. And get up close with a fine brush, and there's no way around it. Just slowly trace this. Yeah, so something like this. Take your time and do them properly, because if those look sloppy, everything is gonna look sloppy. I just want to show you how I do them. So basically it's easier for me, but find what works for you. If I do it like this, if I drag it around, so I'm keeping both my hands fixed, and I'm just so find what works for you and try to do these lines as clean as possible. If you go outside, because I have some, correct them with a black. Obviously get a brush that holds paint. So this is, anytime you see like darker bristles, they're usually natural fibers or imitating natural fibers, meaning they will hold a little bit more brush or a little bit more paint. Everything you have with lighter bristles, they're normally synthetic and they hold less paint. So this, and do the same on the bottom part of the coat. While those dries, we're not gonna touch them. Leave this aside for a minute. We're gonna do the gold details, and I wanna give credit to Wayne Angel again, because he recommended actually those types of markers with a brush tip. And you probably, if you've seen my Sandman video, or that should be up already, you can do it with a brush and just put it in gold and then go like this, something like a dry brushing, so that works as well. But the disadvantage is, of course, you need to go back and forth, make sure you don't take that much paint one time versus the other. The advantage of those, as far as I've seen, and I do prefer them, is that the flow of paint is consistent, so you're not gonna get too much and then too little when it runs out. And they're indeed very, very easy to use. So for example, again, I will hold it like a dry brush, and I'm just rubbing it against the surface. Let it pick up the raised details, because this is what you want gold. Obviously you still need to get up close, so I'll need to get with a magnifying glass and paint all this gold, but it's far more easier and far more quicker than using a brush, that's for sure, so thank you, Wayne. One thing I like about these markers, besides the fact that they are really easy to use, is that they have a very high coverage. So, you know, gold over black, it will just turn some grayish, greenish tone, and you pretty much can't use it like this in one layer. You need to go with a couple of layers, or do a white base, a white or a yellow base. These are incredibly pigmented, so overall it will just cover anything you want. Now, don't worry too much about mistakes. As you can see, I've done some, and it's inevitable. We're just gonna use a mix of the magenta and the black Templar to correct them after it's dry. And just wanted to see, because the details are bigger here, so I can do it from a distance. You can see how easy you paint. You just drag it across and it picks all these things up. Use a light hand, because usually if you press too hard, then it will touch the base. Otherwise, just it will just pick up what's sculpted on top. So I'm saying that this makes the painting process so much easier. And I've just used some local brand. What is this? Stettler. I think it was like €2, €2.50, so they're quite cheap. Yeah, so it's something like this for the jacket. Now he's got all these little buttons, and we're actually going to use also, if I can find it, this is blue, also a marker, but obviously in a silver color.